Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gifts, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome, glad to have you here. Oh look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee. You sure? It's cultist coffee. What makes it cultist coffee? I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it. Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Brr! Welcome to another cold morning here on the morning grind. Welcome to my home. Welcome to the office. Welcome to the morning grind. It was another cold night, and you know what? My kerosene didn't show up, so it was extra kind of cold around here last night, and still is this morning. Maybe it will show up today, but it is going to get warmer today anyway, and I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with today. I'm still behind in getting some things done, but I was really hoping to be able to spend all of today cleaning, because one of the things that I've got to attack and get obsessed about and be like, all right, what am I doing right now is cleaning this house. So I don't know if I'm going to do that today, though, or not. I need to be warmer so I can move through the house. Maybe if the kerosene gets here. So today, our main topic is going to be continuing to build out this a 5-room dungeon that we've been working on. I've got the Shadowdark book right here. We've been having fun with this. We had a lot of fun yesterday, basically coming up with I think the theme of the dungeon. I haven't thought more about it, so we'll sit since we were working on this yesterday morning. So I'm going to sit back down here and get working again, and we can figure out what to do with this gem and this thief that's got to be dead and all of that. So that's our main topic for today. Let's see. Good morning, BGD. Good morning. Good morning, Lynn. We got Lynn. And Lynn just sent some material I was noticing in the Discord server on dice analysis. So we'll have to take a look at that once we get back to some game design stuff here on the Morning Grind. Good morning, James. Good morning. Good morning, Charlie. Good morning. And John, good morning. Sable Phoenix. Robert, hey, good to see you. John says, geesh, no heating oil. That's why I'm going to put in a wood stove whenever I'm able to buy a house of my own. Stay warm. Yeah, I've got a fireplace, but it's not set up. I was thinking, man, I need to get the fireplace back in action. I mean, I've got electric heat, so it wasn't like I was here in but in 22-degree weather. But I just put the electric heaters in here. But it'd be nice when the kerosene heater gets back operational here. Let's see. So tonight, let me bring this up. Tonight we have a discussion with Doug and Cameron. Of course, we're working on some material over on Table Talk, the Table Talk channel. Let me give you the link here. This is the direct link to tonight's Table Talk. Table Talk tonight. Cameron's going to be with us to talk about heroines in story. We're going to be talking about The Heroine's Labyrinth. So if you don't know, Doug's book is The Heroine's Labyrinth. It's coming out next month. He sent me a look of its cover here, so I can put it on our thumbnails. So The Heroine's Labyrinth, this is an alternative story structure for stories with feminine heroes. And Cameron's going to be with us tonight to talk about the representation of females, of female heroes, female protagonists in story. So we're going to be talking about that. And then we're also going to take some examples of women from movies, TVs, stories. I want to talk about Eowyn specifically. I also want to talk about some of the characters from the Game of Thrones as well. I'm sure there will be others, and I'm sure Cameron will have lots of different things to talk about as well on this subject. So we're kind of preparing for the release, and then we'll put this in the context of The Heroine's Labyrinth and Doug's story philosophy here. So we're preparing for the release of his book next month. So I'm doing a number of different topics on Table Talk and reaching out to a number of different guests surrounding the topic of women in science fiction, fantasy, protagonists in stories of all kinds. And by the way, I've been reading Faraway Bird. I was reading Faraway Bird this morning. Faraway Bird is Doug's historical fiction book about the Empress Theodora, which is what inspired him to write the nonfiction Heroine's Labyrinth. So we're going to be talking about the Heroine's Labyrinth soon. I am in chapter 9 now. I am in chapter 9 of Faraway Bird. This is about the Empress Theodora in the Byzantine Empire. So it has been very good so far. I'm in chapter 9. So here we go. Hey, good morning, Zero. Good morning. Good morning, PH. Good morning. Good to see everybody. All right, so that is what is going on tonight. Oh, by the way, and that's tonight. You may want to hit the notification on this one. Put the link in here. You may want to hit the notification on this one because it is an hour earlier. I got to remember that myself because Cameron needs to start an hour early. So we're going to start at 6 o'clock p.m. Central, 6 o'clock Central, rather than 7 o'clock Central tonight. So be aware of that. I look forward to seeing everybody. I think it'll be a fantastic discussion. All right. So that's down. Let's do our reading this morning from Turning Pro by Stephen Pressfield. We'll take our sip. We'll do our reading. And we'll get inspired this morning. I already drunk a bunch of coffee this morning. I was up pretty early working on, did my reading inside Faraway Bird. And then I was working on some scripts for YouTube videos on how to play Hero Quest and then also how to play Shadowdark. That way I can put some videos up on the channel to help us out when we go to the online gaming coffee shop, which, by the way, I guess I should give this out around here. Okay, happy Friday Eve. Okay, I was like, wait a minute, is it already Friday? Wait a minute, did I miss a day? No, Friday Eve. Yes, it is Friday Eve here. If you would like to come and play games with us, I've got the interest form for the online gaming coffee shop. We got a coffee shop software where you can walk around the coffee shop, talk to people, and sit down at a table and play games. And one of which we have built out is Shadowdark. So if you have not signed up, but I believe now the test of that is going to be next Friday, not tomorrow, but we're going to be doing online gaming Friday. Seems like Friday would be a good time to do that. So Friday evening, not this Friday, not tomorrow, but in a week, we're going to open up the coffee shop. I'm going to open up the coffee shop for a test. Can't have that many people in it. It's going to be a small number of people. But if you are interested and you want to be on the test to kind of figure out what it is, how it operates, we're going to go through the whole system. I'm going to set it up for, an event and go through the whole system I'm trying to set up here to make sure that it's operational. And so we can play Hero Quest, we can play Wizard's Quest, we can play Shadowdark, whatever. It'll be a small number of people, but we'll go through the whole process. You'll be able to learn how it works, how it operates. I'm sure there'll be some changes that need to be made, but that's why this is a test. And then we'll open it up maybe a couple of weeks after that, hold our first big event. I'm thinking about calling it RavenCon. And then we can all sit and play and do this virtually. But if you're interested, and especially if you're going to be on the test, go ahead and go to that interest form. No, the test will not be on YouTube. No, this isn't a test on YouTube because the people in the coffee shop, I mean, they may not want to be broadcast. You can come to the coffee. So yeah, that's a good point that it's not on YouTube. So no, this is not something that if you go to, you're going to be broadcast live or something like that to the world. That's not the case. This is just an event. If you're in the event, then you can talk to people who are in the coffee shop. You can sit down. You can play games at the tables. But no, you're not going out live to the world. PH says, Heath, I saw another video about MCDM. And I did watch that video. I watched the video you recommended, PH, on the combat example of MCDMs, where they went through that one you recommended and played out with the giant spider that ended up appearing. So I did watch that. But you say, Heath, I saw another video about MCDM, which I think is best. It's called MCDM RPG Playtest 1. Rules review from the channel D20 Play. Let me look that up. Let's see. It's called, this is called MCDM RPG Playtest 1. Okay, gotcha. I'll make note of that. Might listen to it. If I decide to clean house, I might do that. Hey, good morning, Stray. Good morning, Stray. Oh, by the way, we need a Discord server link too. Hold on. If you are here and you want to be part of the Discord server, there's a place for the coffee shop also to talk about the coffee shop, the online gaming coffee shop on the Ravenkeep server as well. Oh, and Stray gifted a membership. Thank you so much, Stray. Stray gifted a membership. Stray is always very generous. And Charlie just got that. Charlie Gardner was gifted a membership by Stray. So, Charlie, cool. Is Charlie here right now? We often see him in the morning. All right, so let's sip. I already had a bunch of coffee this morning as I was up and working, and then I realized, what else do I have? And I got, I didn't have the right type of Mountain Dew at the grocery store yesterday, so I had to get this Baja Blast stuff. So Baja Blast Zero. Oh, there's Charlie. Congratulations, Charlie. Let's see. All right, so let's take our sip. Everybody get your drink together. So my Baja Blast Zero, whatever you got this morning, coffee, cappuccino, frappuccino, whatever it is. Let's take 2 deep breaths. This is our time for brief self-reflection, focus, 2 deep breaths, in through the nose, then out through the mouth. Deep breaths, complete exhales, and then we'll take a sip of our favorite beverage, and then we will get inspired by Stephen Pressfield this morning. Then we'll head on to making up a dungeon. All right, so here we go. Deep breaths. And sip. All together now, all together. Very good. Very good. All right. Let's see what's going on in Turning Pro by Stephen Pressfield. A Marine gets 2 salaries. There's a well-known gunnery sergeant who, when his young Marines complain about their pay, explains they get 2 salaries, a financial salary and a psychological salary. The Marine's financial salary is indeed meager, but what about the psychological salary? The feeling of pride and honor, the sense of belonging to a brotherhood with a brave and noble history, and knowing that no matter what happens, you remain a member of that fraternity as long as you shall live? How much, the gunnery asks, is that worth? You and I, as artists and entrepreneurs, receive 2 salaries as well. The first might be called the conventional rewards: money, applause, attention. That kind is fine if we can get it. The problem for most of us is that we can't. We bust our butts training and practicing and studying and rehearsing, and nobody shows up. Nobody notices. Nobody even knows we exist. No wonder people quit. The struggle requires too much agony for too little payoff. That's the conventional reward. Then there's the psychological reward. Remember, Krishna told Arjuna that he had the right to his labor, but not to the fruits of his labor? What he meant was the conventional fruits. Does the monk meditate only to achieve enlightenment? What if it never happens? What does the dancer take from ballet class? It's fun for the actor to perform. Why does the singer sing or the filmmaker shoot? When we do the work for itself alone, I know how easy that is to say and how hard it is to do. We're like that Marine who sleeps in a foxhole in the freezing rain, but who knows the secret that only he and his brothers and sisters share. When we do the work for itself alone, our pursuit of a career or a living or fame or wealth or notoriety turns into something else, something loftier and nobler, which we may never even have thought about or aspired to at the beginning. It turns into a practice. All right. That's our words of wisdom today from Stephen Pressfield from the book Turning Pro. All right, let's bring up our notes from yesterday and see where we were and see what we can fill in here. So we are building a one-shot dungeon based on the 5-room dungeon model. And so the first day, this is kind of day 2 of actually building out the dungeon. We kind of started this 3 days ago. So if you want to know what the 5-room dungeon philosophy is, I had to remind myself of that. So 3 days ago, or actually 2 days ago, I guess. This is our 3rd day of this. 2 days ago, we kind of went back and went through what the 5-room dungeon philosophy was and all of that. If you haven't heard of it or you want to sit down with us, refresh your memory as well. We had been through it on this channel before. We had been through it in greater depth on this channel before, and dungeon building philosophies. And then, but it's been a while. So I refreshed myself 2 days ago. And then we really started building yesterday. And we were saying, okay, this is what we're trying to do. But by building yesterday, we were basically coming up with our major themes here and what it is this dungeon is actually trying to do. So our design goal is a one-shot dungeon. Maybe I can do a little bit of editing here. Not that all of this is going to stay in the text, but like I said, this is a one-shot dungeon adventure suitable for starting first-level characters that feature classic Dark Age fantasy themes and characters. That's what we were trying to do. So when we were rolling up themes, that's the design goal. We were rolling up themes. We rolled up ageless gray stone ruins punctuated by strange stone pillars and ancient gateways. We had, where is our... I must have actually deleted my note about, we had this idea from BGD called a power word, which was kind of giving us a reference for the whole dungeon. And we rolled that actually using the index card RPG tables. And that word came up with rage. So we were kind of using that as the example of, well, everything in the dungeon should be connected. We ended up with rage. I don't know what we're going to do from here, but that's what we got. And then we said we rolled up ageless graystone ruins punctuated by strange stone pillars and ancient gateways. And then we said there was something else that we rolled. We got destroy a green gem that is driving people into rage. Now, in this case, we do want to go into a dungeon, but this idea of this gem came up right there. So where are we going? This is driving people into rage. We really didn't go with the driving people into rage. We also rolled, I believe this was from the Shadowdark, banish the hunter in the Sorcerer's Tower. And who is the hunter? Maybe that was a kind of monster. So this seems like the Sorcerer's Tower is ended up being a tomb, like a barrow. So we were rolling stuff up, but then we were kind of just using it as inspiration and going in our own direction. So we rolled up a name that was something like Barrow of the Lost Hero. So we had the idea that maybe the hunter is a large orc who we might use like the ogre stats for. And we wanted to use undead in here. So we said maybe this is a mystical burial site where a green gem has been stolen, activating a long dead hero, the hunter, who has risen with his undead guards, maybe served by goblins, who is tormenting the countryside until the gem can be returned. And then that's when we had the idea that maybe the hero could have even been an orc hero, and they might have been killed on the edge of a battlefield. So the big issue that we were wondering is if this ogre is going to be undead. We had maybe in life the ogre had coveted this gem, but now the gem is gone. The ogre has woken up with his undead goblin and orc soldiers. So we got undead that's not human undead here. 2 ways to win: physically defeat the monsters or put them to rest by returning the gem to the ogre. So we liked that. Because the ogre may be tough. By the way, I was looking just before this started at I was like, I hope there is an ogre in Shadowdark. And there is an ogre in Shadowdark, and it is tough. It is tough. So we may have to scale this down. May have to do that. Because I was noticing, okay, here we go. Ogre. I'm not exactly sure how the monsters are organized in here. They're alphabetical, except for there's like some kind of type in here as well where they're alphabetical. So it's not purely alphabetical. There's some kind of categorization that I don't understand. Where is Hag? Oh, here we go. Ogre. So it says, ogre, a massive dim-witted brute with tusks and a heavy frame, often lords over goblins and orcs. Okay, makes sense. It's AC 9. It's hit points 30, though. It's got 30 hit points in here. Great club, +6. So it's rolling with a +6, which does 2d6 damage. So that's a lot. We're thinking about our first level heroes and their number of hit points. If they're going to fight it, fighting a +6 creature that does 2d6 damage is a lot. And this is written out as a level 6 creature. Level 6 with 30 hit points. So we may have to make some adjustments here or go down to make it just a large orc or something like that. But on the other hand, that may be, I like the idea of 2 ways to win. You could physically put down all the monsters in here. We're going and putting them down, or we can figure out what to do with the gem that's going to put them all down. So if you're a weaker, I like the idea that if you're a weaker party, then, well, the gem is the answer. But who knows? You might luck out and be able to kill something. But I want it to be possible. One way you could do it is that's like, man, that's basically impossible to take out the ogre if you're around low levels. But maybe it shouldn't be. BGD says you can work this design task at both ends. So far, you've been working from the top down, starting with the world and the quest. Today, you can switch by designing 5 kick-ass encounters and then wrap a themed story narrative around them. This helps you fight against scope creep too. That's a good point. Yeah, we do want to fight scope creep because we were talking about, well, what do we do with this gem that we need the gem to be in this 5-room dungeon, because it would make sense that the thief stole it and was, gotten out. And that means that they're rampaging looking for this gem. The undead woke up and now they're looking for their gem, and it's someplace else. But we really didn't want to have to go and find the gem and then another adventure come and bring it back. For fighting scope creep, we decided we need to put this all in one. James says maybe the hero went in search of the mage who owned the tower and was cursed in the process of slaying the mage. Oh, that's interesting. Because, we did kind of drop the idea that there was a mage's tower. That could be the ruins. Like, why did he turn undead? We didn't get that. This is more top-down kind of stuff. But we could, I'm going to put in here, the ruins could be the ruins of that mage's tower that maybe the orc was attacking, or that this ogre guy was attacking. And he did tear it down, or he did succeed, but was cursed with unlife. As a result, something like that. He was probably attacking and he succeeded, probably killing the mage and taking this crystal. That also gives us an idea, or take the gem. That also gives us the idea about what are the gem's powers. Because if you use the gem to put down the undead, then you don't get the treasure. The gem is a treasure, right? But if you do, then you could potentially take the gem as treasure. So that needs to be valuable. But this would also link the powers to the magery. It's not like the term magery. Magery of the tower and its previous owner, who was slain. So we'll use some type. Maybe we can come up with maybe there's a good magic item in here. No, well, let's check that out. We do have magic items in here. Let's see. Looking in the Shadowdark book. Genie lamp, gloves, goblin bomb. I don't see gem of something. But of course we can, or here's an amulet. Amulet of secrecy. The amulet of secrecy is a heavy flat pendant carved with a lidded eye. Benefit: you cannot be detected by divination magic such as scrying or a crystal ball while wearing this amulet. But it's cursed. You constantly have the sensation that you're being watched. So we could take inspiration from some other thing that a wizard might like to have. Amulet of vitality. But we also need a reason why the ogre kind of warrior wants it. Amulet of vitality. A gold amulet with a red ruby teardrop at its center. Your constitution stat becomes 18 plus 4 while wearing this amulet. Well, that's something that a warrior would want. But we can think about that. We can take inspiration from some existing magic item. Or maybe something's going to come to us as we go right here. Also, the tower can have below grade levels, hence the dungeon, and maybe the above grade portion crumbled a long time, leaving a dirt mound, hence the barrow. I think this tower, let's not have the tower. Let's have the dungeon, the barrow beneath it be what you're going into. I think later, I used to run I had a one-shot about a tower that was like a wizard's tower a long time ago that was Lovecraft related. Maybe it'll be time to bring that out sometime. BGs, that's when you just ignore the alternate location. Swap the mage tower for the barrow and keep things consistent. Being loose in interpretation is the key. Yes. Invert the mage tower and make it a mage's oubliette deep within the barrow. Yeah, the inverting it, turning it over like it's crumbling. Yeah, let's see. Okay. So, good point about that. The gym could be worth a lot of money, right? Right. Obviously, you want to bring a priest. Seems like bringing a priest would be a good idea to a place like this if it's got undead, but we don't want this to be a cakewalk with the priest. We'll have to see how that goes within the rule system. Obviously, the gym is missing, taken from the ogre, probably by a low-level thief who did not know what he was doing. We got the problem. So we said, okay, the gem can't be in the tomb, it seems like, but actually the gem has to be in the tomb. But we've got to come up with some reason why the ogre and the servants don't grab it. The thief may have died in the tomb. That's what we're thinking now. And you're going to encounter the body of the thief in an Indiana Jones-style trap. And the gem went someplace that you've got to get it out of, but that the undead don't notice. There's going to be some reason for that. Raging undead have begun tormenting the local village at night. Okay, so we said raging undead have begun tormenting the local village at night. This was kind of our startup discussion. This is because, or a startup for the actual, a passage that could go with it. It was an ancient battleground where a great ogre hunter was slain. In life, he was obsessed with the possession of the gem with some kind of powers. He was buried in it with a tomb on or near the field with his goblin bodyguard who slew themselves to serve in death. Recently, the tomb was discovered by a thief who found the gem in the ogre's claws. Shocked by his good fortune, he took the gem, but when he did, he awakened the ogre and his soldiers. The thief was slain trying to escape, and then something happened to the gem, so the ogre can't reach it and does not even know that it's there, in the barrow with him. The heroes responding to the undead threat have tracked the source of the undead to this barrow, which they are about to enter to try to dispatch the threat. I want to put some ooze in here. All right. So that's basically where we were. So we've got entrance and guardian. I kind of think we should come to that one last. Seems like intro. Oh, there's power word. And it got slid way down. So entrance and guardian. But I'm kind of thinking that might be the one that we do last. We'll see when it comes up naturally. But we got to think about puzzle or role-playing challenge. Propose a dilemma. Make the players make a critical choice. Big room setback. Big danger that's nearly unwinnable, cascading into the heart of darkness. The climatic battle. So this is the undead ogre guy. That's going to be where that is. So we know what that one is. That one, we got to make that cool. We don't want it to just be an undead ogre. We need to make sure there's something cool going on in there. And then a reward and twist as well. So it strikes me that the puzzle is a good place for the acquisition of the gem, or the attempted acquisition of the gem. We want to start on action with this entrance. We do know, so we're talking about why is this not plundered? We want a timer, threat, and treat in each one. That's what BGD was saying. But the philosophy here asks why this has not been plundered. But of course, this one actually has. So let's say it may not be that they fight. I think that we need to start on action. And we need to start with an undead fight to set the tone here. But I don't think outside. Heroes might want to go in during the day anyway. They might want to go in during the night, whichever one. But it's going to be dark in the barrow anyway. So this is perfect for for torches and everything going in. The heroes. So our entrance and guardian is probably not the actual door to this barrow. We can describe that open because the thief went in and never came back out. But now the undead are coming out and going back in. So the heroes find the barrow's door disturbed. Its long seal, which held for so long, whether that's a big rock or whatever it is, held for many years or longer, whatever, has been broken. There are tracks. The tracks you followed. I don't know. Is this something we're reading aloud? I don't know yet. We'll have to go do an editing pass and clean up and things like that. The tracks the heroes follow, may not do read aloud. We'll see. Have followed clearly enter this barrow. And it's pretty easy. Let's just say that it's pretty easy to get the door open because it's in use. Maybe the undead aren't really thinking about like sealing it up and defending it. Easy to get the door open because their job is like protecting inside because they ritually killed themselves. So easy to get the door open, but it is dark inside. And so the first room that's actually the entrance and guardian, I think, needs to trap or possibly needs to trap the heroes inside and have the first encounter with the ogre's undead bodyguard, basically. The first whatever of the bodyguard. First wave, first encounter, undead bodyguard, sentries. That's what they're designed to do. That's why they killed themselves, to make sure that his sleep wasn't disrupted. So we'll start off with that, with this fight. We'll make sure that that's cool, but we'll start there. But then the key here needs to be what happened to this thief. And we need, I think this idea of a puzzle, see, a dilemma, make the players make a critical choice. But this is where you could potentially find the gem. Let's see what people are saying in the comments. Sable says, my favorite adventure dungeon crawl I ever designed was an OSR adventure where this random floating wizard's tower suddenly teleported above a lake, then crashed. So the dungeon is tilted 45 degrees and half submerged. That's a cool adventure location. Let's go down here. BGD says, especially the one-shot adventures of this kind, it can be helpful to resist wiring up all the elements of the surrounding story narrative to a very high degree. Otherwise, all of that novel writing can squelch emergent storytelling at the table, which is where the real fun of the story happens. Yeah, that's true. And also, what's the point? Like, how much of that do we need? In all of these kinds of cases, I would like to find out, because I want to be able to build out more of these type of this style of adventures. And we have this idea of making up these 48-page books. How many of these one-shot adventures could go in a 48-page book and still be reasonable? I'm not sure. But we need some type of, but that'll give us a page limit and a word limit as well, if we're to do more of these, like I would like to do specifically for Rabavania and Theophany. So if there was a 48-page book of one-shot adventures, that would be great. But that means how many words does each one need to have? That how many words does each one need? And you can't spend all those words on creating a whole bunch of backstory. You need to spend the words on the actual dungeon itself. Robert says the gem could either inflict damage on evil monsters or something. Inflict damage on evil monsters. Yeah, or something collapsed on top of it. Okay, so something collapsed. Maybe. Yeah, and a crevice is like one of the things that I was thinking. It also could have fallen down a crevice. Oh, or water. Oh. I like it being potentially at the bottom of a pool. Could add water in here. Gem at the bottom of a pool. Or swallowed by a fish. Or something like that. How do you know it's there and get it out of the fish? Or perhaps the gem has a consciousness and controls the monsters. VG says it hasn't been plundered because the commoners know that they have that all who have tried to delve the barrow depths have disappeared without a trace. No, that's what I'm thinking. That's kind of the direction I was going, Lynn. Lynn says, I think you might want to go with something along the lines of the gem is out of its proper place and needs to be put back by a mortal hand. Yes. I'm skipping down a little bit. Yeah, I think the undead goblin guards, that's where we go. Hi, Pat. Pat says, I like the idea of a diversion to break up the otherwise linear adventures. Oh, Wild Barley says, translucent fish. Jim could make one slightly luminous stand out. And good morning to all. Good morning, Wild Barley. Yet it could be a large translucent fish. Yeah, but okay, what's the puzzle? What's the puzzle? Puzzle or role-playing challenge. But we talked a lot about what puzzle means here yesterday. What does a puzzle mean? And it doesn't necessarily mean puzzle like actual thing the players themselves are trying to sort out. Doesn't have to anyway. PH says, and maybe the gem is part of a ritual that keeps the undead coming back after being defeated. Yeah. So the 5-room dungeon. Oh, so let me go over here. What page in the index card RPG is this? Let's see. Room design 90 and encounter architecture. I think that was it. To refresh ourselves on the art of good room design. I'm looking forward to going through the index card RPG. I think I do want to build it out. I mean, we can use the index card VTT in the coffee shop, I believe. So we'll put that in as an experimental idea. But also, I think I want to build it out myself as well in playingcards.io. And that'll give me an excuse to go through this again as well. Because I do like its philosophy. Well, somebody may have already put it in here. But 114. That's what I was thinking. I was like, Okay, so scene 2. So role-playing change, according to the index card RPG, it's saying now that everyone is warmed up, move them deeper into the map and propose a dilemma. That's why we put dilemma over here. So we need a dilemma. Do they bargain with the bad guy or proclaim their defiance? How can they convince a foe to help them? Is what this says. A dilemma. That means we could. So instead of a puzzle about a fish, instead of a puzzle about this fish, or it doesn't have to be a fish, but if we're going that direction, or the gem in general, instead of a puzzle about the gem, what about a dilemma about the gem? No, that's exactly what's going on. If you put the gem back in place, the undead will rest. That's exactly where we're going. So you can either try to fight all of the undead and kill them all, or you can use the gem putting in its proper location, but that means you don't get the gem. 5-room dungeon. Ultimate guide to the 5-room dungeon. Room 2, puzzle or role-playing challenge. So index card RPG used the term dilemma. But let's see. I'm on roleplayingtips.com. I'll put the link in here if you need it. 5-room dungeon. So the PCs are victorious over the challenge of the first room and are now presented with a trial that can be solved with a trial that cannot be solved with steel. This keeps problem solvers in your group happy and breaks the action up for good pacing. Make room 2 a puzzle, skill-based problem, or a role-playing encounter if possible. Room 2 should shine the limelight on different PCs than Room 1, change up gameplay, offer variety between the challenge and entrance to the challenge at the end. Note, change up gameplay and offer variety between the challenge at the entrance and the challenge at the end. Note, if Room 1 was this type of encounter, then feel free to make Room 2 the combat encounter. Room 2 should allow for multiple solutions to prevent the game from stalling. Right, so we need multiple solutions, a dilemma, a critical choice about this gem, multiple solutions. We do need, okay, we're going to have, this is where I think we should have the jump scare. What should get this kicked off of the dead thief? Oh, that's it. Okay, so could the water or the fish have something to do with the trap? Could this have to do with the trap that killed the thief? So this is if you make it past the undead guards. This is what would have been there as part of this orc's barrow. So room 2 ideas: magic puzzles such as a chessboard tile floor with special squares. An AI blocks access to the rest of the complex and must be befriended, not fought. A buzzer panel for the apartments, but the person the PC is looking for has listed themselves under a different name, which can be figured out through the previous clues you've dropped. Let's see. The dirt floor crawls with poisonous snakes that will slither out of the way to avoid open flame. A few might follow at a distance and strike later. Once you've figured out what room 2 is, try to plant 1 or 2 clues in room 1 about potential solutions. This ties the adventure together a little tighter with delight, will delight the problem solvers and be a backup for you if the players get stuck. Okay. If you arm the party with the knowledge that they need the gem in the first room, have the gem hidden in the pool in the second room, then have a neutral monster the party can RP to help them get the gem at the bottom of the pool. Okay, so do we need, yes, so let's put a note up here on the entrance. We need to hint at the existence of the gem. Of the gem here. And that might be the first the heroes know about this. Letting the heroes know there might be more to this than just killing again, re-killing all the undead. There may be another solution. So that's when that needs to be. This needs to be perhaps an engraving on the wall. We need a neutral monster. Maybe. Daniel says orientation of the gem placement has different effects toward undead depending on how it's replaced. Oh, that could be. What if you get it wrong? Oh, is there a way to get this wrong? I'm going to make note of that. I'll just put the note down here. Is there a wrong way to return the gem, which could result in a worse outcome? BGD says, if the party is unsuccessful in enlisting aid from the monster, give the PCs a way to fail forward at a cost as they retrieve the gem. Wild Barley says, this design architecture is really similar to the approach the Tomb of Horrors was designed with. I've also survived that module myself, and we definitely designing a similar, in a similar motif. I was thinking, Wild Barley, that could be. I don't think I've played the Tomb of Horrors. Tomb of Horrors RPG module. Okay. Oh yeah, this is an original one. Okay, so no, I've not played that. But I was thinking about one of the Randall Morn adventures. Is it the first Randall Morn adventure? That seems also seems to be structured in this way, which I know he played at least twice. Hey, Michael. What if the gem has healing properties but is bound to the dungeon sanctuary, which was once a cleric order? If the gem is not inside the sanctuary, it keeps bringing the dead back. Oh, that's interesting. Like it's healing and it just keeps healing. Will the players use the gem to have some bonus and healing spells and let the dungeon keep bringing the dead back and menacing the region, or will they leave it there? That's interesting. Well, Lynn says, I suppose the undead might like their freedom and do everything they can to prevent you from putting the gem back in its proper place. Now, I was thinking that since the ogre covets it, that he wants it back. So he's after you, and if you just give it back to him, then he just accepts it. BGD says, ideally, the puzzle monster should be scary enough to have the party consider combat, but they should note that the foe is not immediately hostile. Open the door for negotiations and role-playing. At one point, they had oh, wait, that's Michael. Yes, okay. So let's... this is almost like a chamber guardian. As a chamber guardian... So let's see. As the PCs, I think I've used heroes and PCs. Well, if we write this up, we'll do an editing pass and clean all that up too. As the PCs go deeper, so they pass the undead goblins, go deeper into the barrow. I'm thinking, do we have a list of random traps? How are we going to kill this thief? I'm thinking an easy one would be like Donovan. Wasn't it Donovan in the original Indiana Jones at the very beginning? Where they go by and the undead or the husk of the guy, and we got to figure out why he's not undead. If it's important, I mean, we don't want to get too bogged down, like BGD is saying, but it's not automatically making things. Oh, unless the thief is animate. Oh, that's interesting. I was like, no, the thief needs to be dead. We need some reason why the thief isn't undead. But the thief could be undead. Well, now that's interesting. What do you do with this undead thief? But spit it upon... Oh, I like this. But spit it upon spears. So you go in like that. So as the PCs go deeper into the barrow, they trigger a trap. That's something like a spear trap. They trigger a retractable spear trap. Or maybe spiked grate. Like it may, or I kind of like a spiked a gate, spiked gate trap that will with barbs. So this intended to smash. I'm probably not describing this very well, but at the moment, but that is intended to smash intruders as they walk through. So these things come out of the, and with spiked, barbed spikes that hit you in the center here. And this is what got the thief. And it's going into some water here. Robert says handling the gym could carry dangers. Perhaps a special glove or gauntlet is needed. Otherwise, you become lunch. Yeah, they could eat you. Don't want to become a lich. But then, then you've got to add something in about the gauntlet. Undead shouldn't be able to touch the gym. Otherwise, they can move it wherever they wanted and hide or destroy it. Right, but they don't know it's there. I think the idea is that they're not all that smart. And so they think that it's left the... I mean, what do you do if you're undead, especially if you're an orc? You go rampaging around and beating things up and killing things. I don't think they performed an exhaustive search for the tomb. That's what we're going with. So this needs to be out of the way, something that undead brains wouldn't think of. Wrong ways are always fun. Fighters in the Tomb of Horrors disintegrated himself by using a scepter the wrong way. Yeah, the sword in the Dales. Yeah, the sword in the Dales. Yes, that's it. I think we got to play that on the morning grind, not the morning grind, on Dinner and a Board Game sometime. Once we get back to Dinner and a Board Game streaming, I think the sword in the Dales is one. I wouldn't call the puzzle monsters a chamber guardian, since we want room 2 puzzle to be distinct from room 1 for its task and purpose. The monster just lives there, and you've just barged into its living room. Yeah. Well, now I was actually Threshold Guardian comes from the hero's journey, but Doug has been using the term chamber guardian in the hero's labyrinth for someone who is protecting a certain room of knowledge, which doesn't have to be knowledge. Or the chamber guardians, Doug was saying, it can often be administrative. Like behind a desk, you often find these characters sitting behind desks and things like that, and they're in charge of knowledge. So I was intending to invoke that here. What incentive does the now undead thief have to keep the gem from the guardian, though? Is he somehow able to resist the thrall of the hunter? I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. And smash it as they walk through. But this time, they find. But this time, the heroes likely narrowly escape. Or narrowly avoid the trap. So they might get caught in it, but they narrowly avoid the trap, see it coming, whatever, and find the mangled body of a thief still attached to the spikes. The thief has become undead and is unable to get himself off the spikes. you might be able to talk to him. So his mind may not be completely gone yet. And so you could talk to him, like you could kill him. Like, oh my God, he probably needs to like roar at you in the beginning and like be pawing at you. He might start. And want the gem. So I like the idea. So we've got this, this area. So he got caught in this as he was coming out, right? Oh, am I coming out with Skyrim things? Yeah, so the thief mishandled the gem and became undead because he has a warning not to grasp the gem. Yeah, so he needs to have some type of warning about this. We go on wants the gem, and or may have a warning for the heroes, probably about the ogre. The undead ogre. He awakened. BGD says when you have a fetch quest elements in your 5-room dungeon, it can be fun to curse the items that imbue mechanical penalties on the bearer during their recovery and travel, like the One Ring's effect on Frodo in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, a curse. Well, they may need something to defeat the ogre. It could curse you. I'm afraid this is going to be a pretty tough if they just try to fight it out. If they're also cursed, well, maybe if they're cursed, they would know I gotta get rid of this thing if it's cursed. But on the other hand, I think it should be good. The gem should be good to tempt you to not leave it. Like the reason to try to fight the ogre and just do this by brute force would be that you get to keep the gem, which you wouldn't want to do if it were cursed. We could end up with 2 factions of the undead. Oh, ooze. Wait a minute. Someplace we're gonna put ooze someplace in here. So could this undead thief guy be that neutral kind of character guy? The gem is also here. But it has fallen down. A crevice. BGD says it doesn't have to be severe or permanent, but if the MacGuffin that you need makes things harder on the bearer, it provides an interesting challenge and a tactical dimension to he who carries it. Okay, let's say that we've got the potential for the gem powers major, but it could also have some type of curse. That is inflicted on the bearer. Okay. Maybe the thief's reasons that with the group to help them take the gem because he wanted to keep his undeath, and the ogre just wants to rest. If the ogre gets it, he rests. Well, the thief might also want it to rest. Like now, I mean, this isn't really a good life here. Now you're undead, attached to this this trap here. So he dropped it when he was smashed by this thing. Having been dropped by the thief when he died. When he died the first time. So it's down. He may try to convince the heroes to help him. Maybe to get him off of the spikes. Help me, help me. It needs to be pretty. It can't just be a conversation. It needs to be kind of gruesome here. But even after he's off the spikes, he really can't move because his body is so mangled. He needs to be let to rest. Or put to rest. Perhaps on one of the funerary biers, of the goblin guards. You could lay him out there. And he wants the gem. But he'll tell you, if you don't, of course, you could just hack him apart right there. Some people might decide to not believe him, especially if he scares them, and then hack this guy apart or turn him or whatever. Oh, it could also be kind of a gruesome scene. Okay, so we should have some kind of note. Note that if the priest, if you got a priest with you, tries to turn undead in here on him, he can't run and is clearly in great pain from the turning attempt, and pain and agony from the effect of the turning. And this might be what clues the heroes in to something else going on. This is fun. This is fun. But then he asks for help to get free of the trap. In exchange, he helps the group to get the gem. Yes. Let's see. He asked the party for help. So we said that, right? Yeah, ask the heroes to help him. And that's when you can find out what's going. So this is where you could find out the secret to helping put down this ogre. The gem has fallen down this crevasse and into water. Because this is why, like, we don't have, like, the goblin soldiers. I'm seeing these like the goblin soldiers, especially the goblin soldiers that you fought through. They're not like intelligent enough in the ogre to be like, hey, let's toss this entire place looking for this gem. Daniel says thief is because they're like, their ritual made them, warrior guardians. Thief is the big bad evil guy the whole time, misleading the party to recover the gem. Opens the door to non-combat towards the guardian hunter. Well, and we do have the idea of this at the end, we got to come up with a reward and some kind of twist or something. The gem could be animating undead, so a good reason to find it is to destroy it or return it to the proper place to defeat the local undead. Yes, yes. First room, and he wants the gem. Okay, so the gem, the green gem, one inventory slot, if you pick it up, has fallen down a crevasse and into a pool. At the bottom. A number of so this if we're going to have it eaten, then this would be it, where a number of translucent fish are swimming. This could be a good place for a thief to climb down. It's not easy to climb down to the pool. Oh, we might also think about light here. We got to think about light too, because this is the old school stuff here. So this could be an ideal for to use ropes. So this could be ideal for a thief, as in a living thief, not one that's undead and hanging on spikes. So this could be ideal for a thief in the party, and also to make use of ropes and those iron spikes. Those iron spikes that everybody always carries around. To make this a dangerous climb down to this pool. The fish can get in, but they kind of get stuck there. And there could be other objects down there, but really, I mean, who's been in here? I'm seeing this as kind of something that's been broken away. So this is the water has eroded because the water flowing into the barrow came later and eroded out the wall. Which fell into a sinkhole. That's why we've got this thing. So this is not something that's been built into this cavern. This fell into a sinkhole. So that's which is where the pool is. This is a lot of fascinating detail, but it's also content and backstory that players may never discover in the one-shot session. It's good to focus on the in-game specifics of timer, threat, and treat. Yeah, okay, so I was actually just thinking about that here. We gave us some lists of what all that meant. Timer, threat, treat. So treat was the elements of the encounter that the party can explore, use, collect, or otherwise interact with. Okay, so that's gem in this. Not always treasure. Sometimes mundane items save the day. So, okay, so we got trick in here. BG says, I would also be looking for opportunities along the way to tie these encounters back together cohesively by introducing that power word rage in ways that are shown rather than told to the players. Well, so we need to have rage. So when the thief is speaking, remember rage and his and rage as his driving force. Oh, speaking of rage, you could hear the undead ogre bellowing deeper in this, in the barrow. And what is this? And that might prompt The PCs to inquire or to inquire, or the thief to provide to volunteer information about what that is. James says maybe the corpse of the dead rogue could have a length of rope on it, making the gem and the crevasse easier to reach. That's a solid treat. Yes. Yeah, so that needs to be a rage-like bellow. What is he looking for? So, I mean, he's looking, but not well, because like, he's not really intelligent. So, like, he could be, wandering around his burial chamber looking for his gem, that's not there. Kind of like the drunk looking for the keys under the light. Information about what he is and what he is looking for. If the party does not have rope, some could be stuck to the thief's rope. Could be attached to the trap that he was trying to use to escape and got that out. So treat here, we do have Jim and a potentially useful rope. Okay, the threat. Okay, we had trap. We did have, you could be hit by a trap and then a reaching, then the thief, zombie thief reaching out. But that's not the big deal, because this is not a combat encounter, but okay, there was that. Then what do you do about that? But then there needs to be something down there at the bottom. So since this is highlighting the non-combat characters, there needs to be a threat or something that you get down there. It's like, okay, who are we going to send down there? Maybe this is only something that maybe one person can go into anyway. It looks like only one person can fit down. Down where the gem fell. So we're going to have, so the idea would be we got players on top and then one person going down. Oh, see you later, Lynn. I know this is so much fun. I'm glad you recommended this, BGD. I'm glad I went ahead and did it too. I wasn't sure I was in the right mental mindset when it was first brought up, but now it's going well. Jim cursed could trigger those details. Circumventing curse requires information. Yeah, the rope only matter if the party doesn't carry their own rope. Maybe it's not so good. What party travels without rope? Well, and everybody's got one in their crawler's kit. So we would be expecting them to have rope, but if they don't, then it's there. But what happens to the player who goes down? So it can fit down where the gem fell anyway. So one player is going to have to descend, or one character is going to have to descend if they want it. Insert climb DC and fall insert. And note fall damage. Maybe you don't really know what you're going into. Maybe the entrance is so small, so you don't just look down and go like, oh, it's dark down there anyway. So it's so small that you really can't see down there. So somebody's going down there into something they don't really understand. Anyway, dropping in a rock does result in a splash. We were talking about that the other day. We did talk about that. So Robert was talking about that, and I think wasn't Lynn actually talking about that? Lynn just left, but I think there was discussion about using ChatGPT to do this. It seemed like to not a tremendous amount of success. Robert, of course, has the most success with that because he's the most skilled in the prompting and all of that. Dropping the rock does result in a splash, and people might know there is water down there. They will also have to take another torch. So they're going to be one-handed down there. Then what happens when you're down there? So the gym needs to be glowing so you can at least, oh, wait a minute. That's it. A rumor of cave sharks. There's a shark down there. So we could have the fish eat it idea. Also, now we could also have some other type of creature down here, some kind of the chamber guardian that could help them out. Like a frog guy. Don't we have like frog guys? What's like a frog guy thing? Do they have frogmen in here? There isn't a whole lot of detail on any particular monster, but let's see. You see E, F, G. Nah, I don't see frog dude. But it could be something like a frog dude down there. Kind of like a Gotham character or something like that down there. Frog guy. Who challenges. The translucent fish is kind of cool, though. I like the translucent fish. You're waving around the torch. You see something slightly glowing. You're waving around the torch, and you see the largely translucent fish. And then, oh, no, this glow moves because it's inside one of them. Is there some way to, like, how could we end up with solutions for how you get this back? How big is this gem and how big is this fish? So the gem takes up one inventory slot. That's just standard. It's a gem. I was thinking the gem originally was like, something like this, but it could be smaller, or the fish just could be really big. Like a deep one analog too. Yeah, ICRPG has a deep one analog in What Once Were Men. Page 143. What once were men? A ragged set of webbed claws where hands were once. A weapon wound inflicted with this attack will itch and burn, drown. Gods, the way they drag you below the water, disappearing into the murk, taking weapon damage each round below. Make a con roll or hold your breath and negate the damage, or make a strength roll to break free. If taking drowning damage twice, be stunned for one round. So yeah, we could put something down there This is going to be a character who's not really well equipped for combat. We need a timer too, right? Yeah, we need a timer. What we got to make this decision, or the timer could be like after you talk to the zombie guy, the zombie thief, a timer that's happening down there. Timer as the party slowly succumbs to entropy themselves. Healing becomes less effective. Gear starts corroding slightly. Oh, that would be a timer across the whole dungeon. I was wondering if they were going to be trapped in here too. So I'm going to put the question up here. Like that's a dungeon timer is an interesting idea. I was going to put up here when they fight these guys. Need to be trapped in this first room. Like with a gate that falls behind them. If so, then we can have a whole dungeon timer. But I was thinking about something that we need to speed up this. Oh, we're down here. I got to get this gem. I got to do something, and I'm under some type of timer. Gem is hollow. A hermit crab uses it as a home. Party has to offer a suitable replacement. Yeah, the fish could be glowing. That's how you know it's in the fish, because the fish is glowing. An intelligent crab. Or it's like, or there's something that's down there that's like the crab guy in Moana who's got all the junk on his shell. If cursed, then fish undead too. An undead translucent fish. And we need a timer. Don't have forever to get the gem. Why? The ice, because the fit, because if the gem is just sitting there, then it's not going to move. And you're like, why would it be difficult to get this out? Ice is thawing, Stray says. When melted fish can escape the ice of the cavern. Yeah, so don't have to forget the gem. If it's in a fish, then the fish could be about to escape. Or like salmon trying to jump out to get into the water, into the water that goes out. Just brainstorming here. BGD says, have the water level rise to threatening the party as a timer, or have the water draining away someplace, taking the fish and the gem with it. Yeah. So that would be, that's the other. So the fish are leaving. Yes. Okay. Well, actually, we've been going for an hour and a half today. So I think this is, I got things to do. I don't know what I'm going to do today. I don't know if I was anticipating using the entire day to clean, but I'm still behind on some other things. So I may have to do some other things. Hopefully some kerosene will show up so I can heat up the house. I'm not cleaning if the house is not going to be warm. I'll be sitting right here. But all right. So I guess we continue with this tomorrow. We will continue with this tomorrow. Think on this. I'm going to think on the timer for this fish thing or getting the gem in general. So think on it. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. Enjoyed it. I've had a great time. Go forth, be creative, be constructive, and grind on. Later, everybody.